met my ex-husband when I was 19. He had just gotten home from a 2-year LDS mission. I didn't find out until years later that he'd actually wanted to date my sister. I wanted away from home. My dad and I fought constantly. I was struggling with being an adult. I turned 18 in October of my senior year. I didn't fit in anywhere. I was a gamer, an artist, a writer. I loved Sailor Moon and Inuyasha. I loved dinosaurs in ancient Egypt. Didn't fit in anywhere. People around me thought I was weird. Growing up LDS, I thought I needed to get married. I was afraid to go to school and was waiting for my sister to graduate. I'd met a man that I worked with who was a return missionary I thought I was going to marry. He broke up with me for one of our coworkers. I felt trapped with no other options when I met my ex-husband. He seemed perfect, kind, loved kids. He'd leave flowers on my car. He asked for permission to kiss me. I thought he was so respectful. We dated for 3 days before he proposed. I said yes. I thought I was in love. All of his friends had said he'd changed so much since his mission. I asked them what he was like before. No one would tell me. He took me to meet his parents. His mom told me everything. Her abuse, her diagnosis, things other family members had gone through. I told him I couldn't marry him. I cried. He told me that everything was going to be okay, that his mom was difficult but not always like this. He promised he'd protect me. We got married in summer. I wanted a winter wedding. He didn't want to wait. We were married within 3 months. Up until the wedding, he was perfect. The wedding was normal. Then my uncle, who was the photographer, took me aside to take pictures. My ex-husband threw a fit. He wanted me to meet his uncle. He yelled at me in front of everyone. I thought maybe it was a one-time thing. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. We were officially married. He was my eternal companion. There was no backing out. On the honeymoon, he got me so upset I was hyperventilating. He'd been screaming at me. The abuse started slowly. Breaking my glasses, leaving bruises from his fists on my thighs where people couldn't see them. He'd call his mom. She would come and convince me that if I was just a better wife, this wouldn't happen. She convinced me it was my fault. She convinced me he was perfect. Over the course of 16 years, he'd cheated on me 6 times. He'd slammed my head into the car, leaving a dent, put me through walls, ripped out chunks of my hair. Every time his mom told me it was my fault, if I was a better wife, dressed how he wanted, looked how he wanted, this wouldn't happen. I believed them. Believed him that I was unlovable, that no one would want me. Believed him that I was too fat, too old, that I would never be anything. I published 3 books, and he still thought I couldn't do anything. When I saw the girls he cheated on me with, I was confused. They weren't what he'd said his type was. He liked me with a short bob and black hair. All of them had long hair. None of them were dark. I realized I could look like a model, and he still wouldn't love me. The final straw was a trip to Disneyland where he told our oldest he hated them. I was going to school full-time, working 2 jobs. I was basically raising 3 kids alone. He has money, but I never did. I was done. Then he wanted me to get breast implants. I said no! My first no. He left me in March of 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic. He got himself a 20-year-old girlfriend. I had to make him sit down and decide on time with the kids. I wanted to stay married. I hated him, but thought I couldn't make it alone. After a while, I got a new job. I quit school because I couldn't afford. I found out I was working with one of the girls he'd cheated on me with. The divorce was messy. His mom said she was hurting more than we were. She encouraged him to file for legal separation. He stopped the divorce because he didn't want to pay child support. I thought he wanted to fix things. I filed again in November. The divorce took a year. I lost my house, but gained some money. I lived in an RV for a year. I started counseling. My counselor believed he and his mom are clinical narcissists, though she couldn't say for sure because she'd never met them. I started saying that what happened to me wasn't so bad. He wasn't always physical. It was mostly mental, emotional, and verbal. People began correcting me. I'd been abused. My kids had been abused. My ex stalked me. Who was at the house where I went? He drove by all the time. I tried to date but struggled to have feelings for anyone. I stopped going to church, became a homebody. I'm afraid I'll be alone forever. I sometimes want to be alone forever. When he passed away in March, I was relieved to a certain degree. Then his mom tried to take over his estate. Our kids are the heirs. She hired an attorney, knowing I couldn't afford it. They lied about how the estate went. She's taking my 18-year-old to court to become personal representative. My counselor said it took 16 years to make me this way. Will take just as long to undo the damage. I want to share my story, to help those who feel the same ways I did. I'm becoming me again. Playing Legend of Zelda: Animal Crossing. My cousin and I hang out a lot and play Mario Party with her husband. I'm doing art again, reading, writing. The things I love. Hopefully, someday I'll find someone who lets me love K-pop and doesn't tell me I'm weird or unlovable because of it. If you're healing too, and games, books, or art help you feel human again, subscribe. You belong here.